Welcome everyone to another session of word processing training. As you can see, I've already opened up a new Microsoft Word document, same as always we've been doing so far. This time we're going to work with formatting the paper, making it look the way we want it to. One of the first things we're going to do is set margins and tabs. And to set the margins, we're going to go to File, Page Setup, because it's part of the way the page is going to look. And we have a couple of different tabs. You don't want layout, we're not worried about that right now. Paper, this is just normal paper, we don't have to worry about that. Margins. As you can see, we have a couple of different choices. We have the top and bottom margins that are an inch, left and right at 1.25 inches, which is fine. You could go back in, change the margins, but this is standard, we don't need to change that. And we will come back and look at some of these others in a little bit. But everything's okay, so we'll click OK. So, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. As you can see, my typing has not improved any, but that's not the point right now. As you can see, it is at 1.25 inches from the left side and 1 inch down from the top. But you know what? It's a paragraph. We need to do some tabs. Some people like to just go back and put spaces in. That's fine, but to make the paragraphs more uniform, we're going to use a different way. Because who knows, one paragraph you might have 4 spaces, other one you might have 5. It just doesn't look very professional that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a new row. And give a little bit of space so you can see what we're doing. And at the top here we have this nice little ruler. And we have here, this is the first line indent. Next is the hanging indent. That's for the following rows, and then the left indent. We're going to work with the first line indent and the hanging indent. First line indent, we can just take this little slider, and I like to set my tabs at about 1/2 inch. So you just slide it right to the 1/2 inch mark. It doesn't look like it's going to do anything. The cursor's still at the left margin, but we're going to start typing. And look, it automatically takes you to where you need to be. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. And I'm going to continue typing. As you can see, as I said, this is a first line indent. So when we go back, when the text wraps around, you need to see if it's going to actually go to the tab or to the hanging indent. We'll see what happens. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. And as you can see, since our left margin is set the same as a hanging indent, it did wrap around and it did start right where it needed to. And look, you can see by looking at the placement of our tab and of the paragraph before it, I did not indent in the same spot. This is why tabs are good to set. They will stay there unless you go back up and change the slide, it'll stay there. It'll do what you need for the rest of the paragraphs. Another part of formatting we're going to look at right now is spacing. Right now, as you can see, these are single spaced. Sometimes it's a little squished together. Let's do a little bit more typing, see how much it looks. I'm just typing gobbledygook. It did that because it took as one word, since I did put a space. That's one thing. If there is a long word that overflows the edge, it will bring it down to the next level. Anyway, what we're looking at right now is the spacing. Uh, you know what? Single spacing is a little too close together. So to change that, I'm going to highlight the entire paragraph. Remember, left click, drag. We're going to go up to Format. And since it is supposedly a paragraph, we're going to click the paragraph title. And spacing. As you can see, right now it is still at a single spacing. Let's try 1.5 lines. See how that looks. And okay. That looks a little better. Now I know all of us like the double spacing. It takes up more space on the paper. That way we have to do less writing. Let's see how double space looks. Okay. That is a lot of space between there. Most professors prefer that you use single spacing. So we'll highlight it again, go back, and go back to single spacing. The spacing is very easily changeable. And in the next part of the video, the really fun stuff, we get to work with different font colors, different font sizes, and the backgrounds. So we're going to take a break here, and I'll come back with a new video in just a minute.